Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but here I am finally going to be posting this video for you guys that's highly requested. I'm sorry if you can hear Manny in the background. If you guys don't know who Manny is, that's my dog. He's my blue nose pit bull. He snores really loud, and for some reason he's really tired right now, and he's very attached to me. So he's right now laying on the floor, he's snoring, he looks really comfortable, and I didn't feel like going into another room. I'm actually in our living room, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and film it here. I'm comfortable, I have everything here. I had written down week per week how my first trimester was so that I can share it with you guys, because I knew I was gonna get questions later on. Also, I do get out of breath as I talk a lot, and this video is probably gonna be really long just because I don't want to miss anything. But just bear with me and have a little patience. Like I said, I am in my living room. I thought it would be a good idea because there's a lot of sunlight, like natural light coming in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about the background. That's not what's important. I'm here to talk to you guys about my first trimester. I know a lot of you guys, if you guys don't know, and if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I am pregnant. I am right now 13 weeks and what's today? Saturday. And 4 days, I believe. I'll be 14 weeks on Tuesday. So anywho, let's get started. So first off, I found out early on that I was pregnant. A lot of you guys were asking me if my pregnancy was planned or if it was an oopsie. So I'm not sure if a lot of you guys do know, or a lot of you guys are new to my channel. I am married. So obviously it wasn't so much planned, but at the same time, we've been knowing we were ready. It just had not happened. Since the beginning of this year, we knew we were ready to be parents. However, it's crazy how things happen. If I had a choice of being pregnant during this whole pandemic and not being pregnant, obviously, I mean, I don't regret my pregnancy. I'm really, really happy. You know, baby's always a blessing. But of course, every day I'm always like really scared. I don't want to get sick, especially now that I'm pregnant. So like I said, since the beginning of the year, we knew we wanted to have, we've been talking about kids since like before. If it was up to my husband, I think we would have had kids since like right after we got married, but that's not something that I wanted. I remember I used to tell him, I don't even think I want kids. And I knew that was gonna change. I think at the time I just wasn't ready. And like I said, I found out when I was only 4 weeks. So what ended up happening was I was at work, right? And I felt like something was weird. I felt something weird, but it's like I had an intuition, right? And I wasn't sure. I was like, no, I don't think I think I was barely 2-3 days late on my period, but it had happened before. And a lot of times, you know, your period's late because you're either stressed or you're just overthinking it, or sometimes it's just late. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna think about it. I don't think I'm pregnant. I'm not gonna go buy a pregnancy test and then like end up disappointed or be like, oh, I just wasted money for nothing, right? So I remember that day, I was at work and my husband had texted me saying like, dude, like, I don't know, like, I think you should check to see if you're pregnant. And I was like, why? He's like, I feel really nauseous. I'm at work. It's lunchtime and I'm not even hungry. He's like, it's very rare. He's like, and I know I'm not sick. So I was like, maybe you're not craving what you're about to eat. I don't think that it's that, right? He's like, no, maybe you should check. So that day after work, I remember checking. And so I went home, I checked, I took a pregnancy test, and I remember checking, and the second line, you know, obviously it has to be 2 lines. The second line was very slight, like you can barely see it. But I was like, you know what? I wasn't paying attention. I might have left it off for too long, and it's probably a false positive. So I'm like, I don't think I'm pregnant. I'm not even gonna like overthink it. So whatever, I tossed it out, didn't think anything of it. So then my birthday came around. So I think that was like a week before my birthday. I'm not exactly sure. Or like around that same week. Then my birthday came around. And I remember my friend Christina. I remember this specifically. She came over just to drop something off, because obviously to celebrate my aunt and my dad's birthday was just immediate family because of the whole coronavirus. And I remember her coming to bring me some flowers and a card, and I didn't expect her to be coming over. So the only one that knew that she was going to be coming over was my sister. So for some reason, I hadn't seen Christina in a long time. I obviously love her. I've known her for so long. So when I seen her and she gave me the flowers, I just started bawling for no reason. I started crying. I wasn't like ugly crying, but I just started tearing up. And she's like, you know, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm not even sure. I'm just like really happy to see you. It's been so long. And then obviously when you get older, you know, your life change. You have a lot going on and all these things. So like, I know she's really busy. So I don't know, I was just really excited to see her. So the point is, after that, I didn't think too much of it. But then I remember when I went to the back, because everybody was in the backyard, I remember a couple people were like, maybe you're pregnant. Like, why are you crying? Like, I'm already a sensitive person as it is. So at the time I was like, maybe I'm just sensitive how I usually am. You know, man, they're just happy tears. I didn't think anything of it, but everybody else was like, hold on, my bro's all messed up. I know my husband, my aunt, my sister were like, no, something's weird. Like, there's no reason why you would be crying like that. So whatever se me pasó, I wiped away my tears. I continued on, but so for some reason that day, I didn't want to drink. Know what it was? I wasn't craving it. I think I had maybe half a beer or a beer. And I think I had one shot. But like I said, I didn't think I was pregnant. I just thought I wasn't in the mood. So don't judge me, okay? Because I didn't know I was pregnant. So, whatever, the day passed, I had a good time. I didn't feel anything. And then, so my birthday's on the 11th of September. And then my dad's birthday's on the 14th. But obviously we had celebrated it, I think, on the 11th. So then on the 18th of September, I remember I decided to take another pregnancy test. Now this time, the reason why I decided to take another one was because I think I was more than late for my period. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm still just a little stressed. I'm just overthinking it. But at the same time, I'm like, I should just take one to be sure. So I'm like, you know, I texted my friend and I'm like, dude, I don't know if I should just take a pregnancy test. Like, you know, this is what happened. So I told her what happened with the last pregnancy test. She's like, dude, you should just take one. So on and so forth. So I ended up taking a pregnancy test when I got home. And as you guys saw in my last video, I ended up finding out that I was pregnant. So like I said, I found out early on. I'm using right now What to Expect, the app. And at the time, I was using an ovulation and period tracker. So on there, it was obviously showing me that I was late, but I don't know, it just hadn't like sank in. But so yeah, when I input my information on What to Expect, it came out that I was 4 weeks. I obviously wanted to go to the clinic to make sure, find out and all that, but I'm like, you know what? I was just too excited. So I had my friend pick me up. I think my truck wasn't working at the time, so I had my friend pick me up that same day. She was so excited. So as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, this girl was already on her way to take me to Target so I can get something cute before telling Eric, because obviously it's our first baby. So I was really excited to, you know, to tell him. I didn't want to just be like, hey, I'm pregnant. Okay. So she's a really good friend. So she picked me up and we went to go buy some stuff. And then that same day I ended up telling Eric. Eric was shocked. Like, I didn't show you guys his reaction just because I feel like that's a little bit more intimate and that's between him and I. And you guys have to keep in mind that this channel is mine, not, you know, ours. So he's not very comfortable in front of the camera, and I respect that. If he ever wants to be on camera, then, you know, he's more than welcome to, but I'm not going to force him. So I feel like this video is going to be really long, but anyways, I'm sure you guys like long videos. I should have told you guys to grab some snacks, sit down, take your time, and, you know, if you need to pause the video, go get what you need to get, and come sit back down. So anyways, so when I told Eric, Eric was like extremely excited, and I told him, like, you know, when I found out, the first person I wanted to call and tell was my mom, because I tell my mom everything. That's my best friend. I wanted to call her. I was like emotional. I wanted to be like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. But I'm like, you know what? No, she also deserves to find out in a cute way. As so as both of my parents. So I think I held the secret for 2 weeks because before telling them, I actually went to the clinic just to find out for sure that everything was good. Not that everything was good. I didn't get an ultrasound, but just like to get to obviously take another test, and it came out that I was pregnant. And I remember when the girl told me that I was pregnant, I think she thought that I didn't know, or that like I wouldn't be excited or something. And she's like, just so you know, you are pregnant. I'm looking at her like, obviously I knew that already. I just came to confirm it. But anywho, and then so yeah, Eric and I talked about how like we wanted to plan on telling his parents and my parents. I obviously didn't record his parents' reaction just because, like I said, I don't want to just put them on here because obviously I would need to ask them, and I know they're not gonna be up for it. So I didn't want to just record the reaction without asking. But anywho, so then for the first 4 weeks of the pregnancy, which is like really hard to understand, like I know like I was confused. I'm like, how the hell am I 4 weeks if I just found out or whatever? But with time you read into it and you start to find out. But what I started to feel was I started to feel like really tired, and like right after eating I would feel really bloated, like full. Like I felt like I needed to burp but I couldn't. I'm like, why do I feel like that? But it was obviously because I was pregnant. Even though it was early on, like I would eat and I would just feel like extremely bloated. And then I didn't have any cravings at all whatsoever. It was really funny because Eric was craving a lot of sweet stuff. Like I remember he would crave like Nutella, ice cream, and cookies. So to me, I feel like that it's like, it makes it even more special to know that your husband is experiencing kind of what you're experiencing, but like he experienced it a little bit before I did, because I know even after that, like he was like, I told you you were pregnant. He's like, because I felt nauseous. Even after that, there was a couple of days where he still felt nauseous, and I still didn't feel nauseous at all. It took a couple weeks. And then come to week 6, I'm looking at what I had written down. Come to week 6, I remember I'm not a breakfast person, okay? I'm the person that always wants coffee. Like literally that's all I have in the morning. But for some reason, I'm telling you, I'm not even lying, ever since I got pregnant, I don't crave coffee at all. Like I'll have it like once in a great while, and it'll be something that's like not strong in caffeine. Not because I'm like, you know, like paranoid or anything, because I know I've checked with my doctor and I know what I can and cannot eat, or what I can have. And you can have coffee, but I just don't crave it. So like I'll have like a frappuccino just because I'm like craving it, or like little things like that. You know, it's okay to have cravings and to, you know, go ahead and have whatever you crave. Obviously not all the time and not excessively. But anyway, so I would crave, at 6 weeks, I always wanted breakfast. Like I would wake up and I needed something, whatever it was, whether it was cereal. I felt like I needed to have something, because it's not that I was starving, but I felt like an emptiness at the top of my stomach. Like it just feels funny. I don't know how to describe it. You just feel like there's something missing. And I knew like, okay, I have to eat breakfast. I have to have something in my belly now. So like, it was hard, because I think at 6 weeks is when I started to take the prenatal pills. So TMI, your body obviously is not used to it. So I remember I would get stomach aches, and then I would get like the runs. And I hated taking them. And so I learned that you can take them every other day. You don't have to take them like every day, just so that your body can like start getting used to it. And then I remember before I would take it literally every single day, because I was just like extremely paranoid. Like I'm like, you know, my body needs the prenatals, but you start to learn things as you go. So yeah, so like I said, 6 weeks, I was just, the only thing that I can remember was that I always made sure to have breakfast, because otherwise I would get to work. And like before I would have lunch, which our lunch is always at 1. By 1, I was already at this desesperada. I was like, oh my God, like what time are we gonna go on lunch? Like I don't know, I just felt like I just couldn't. So then at 8 weeks, let me see, did I have any cravings? At 8 weeks is when I started to get really thirsty. That was even at 6 weeks. I was always really thirsty, and I was drinking a lot of water. I didn't crave anything sweet. At this point, I still don't crave anything sweet. So I would drink a lot of water, and at 8 weeks, I would feel kind of sleepy, but not like to an extent where it was like crazy and I had to, but I did feel sleepy every once in a while. And then I felt like I had to have snacks on me. Like I said, like I got to the point where I would eat breakfast, whether it was like at 8 weeks, I was craving the sausage burrito from McDonald's and the orange juice. Obviously the orange juice is good for you. The sausage burrito, not so much because of the tortilla. And I obviously I didn't have a sausage burrito literally every day. It would just be like once in a while. And then the orange juice, either I had orange juice here at home or I would buy one, but that's what I was craving, orange juice. And obviously that's good because it's high in vitamin C. So I had nothing to worry about there. And let me see. I was craving anything with limon, anything, like whatever it was, I'll put a little bit of limon just because I started to have this weird taste in my mouth. And I was told this because of the hormonal changes and sometimes it's because of the prenatals. I started to have like this really sweet taste in my mouth, and the limon would just kind of help it. So I would crave anything with lime, anything. And then at 9 weeks, I had this obsession with peaches. Like I would go to the store and buy peaches, and I would have a peach once a day. And I would savor it. Like, se me antojaba. I think at one point I did post it on Instagram. It was like a huge peach. I would eat it and I felt so happy. Like that was my snack. Before that, I would have almonds. Another thing I craved was grapes. I still like peaches and grapes till this point, but it's not like I have to have them in my house. Before I had to make sure I had peaches in the fridge and grapes, just because I would randomly get up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna eat a peach. But to me, that made me happy because obviously it's better to eat fruit than to be like, oh, I'm gonna go get a piece of chocolate. Which, like I said, it's okay to crave those things, but I was just happy that what I was so used to having all the time, just because I would eat junk food before, I wasn't craving it at this point. So that made me happy. And then at 10 weeks, that's when I started to feel like I was out of breath. What else? I started to feel cramping and then like stretching. I don't know, like, I'm sorry, I'm out of breath now. But I started to feel like stretching on the inside. It was uncomfortable. And I remember I was starting to get really concerned, thinking like, oh my God, like what if something's wrong? I'm one of those people that is extremely paranoid, especially with everything going on. If I would feel like something slight, I would panic because it's like I've never been pregnant, so I'm not sure what's normal, what's not. And then like sometimes you read into it and they either scare you on Google or it either helps you calm down. But I remember like reading that cramping, it was in between. Cramping was a normal thing, but then if it was extreme, it was bad. But I remember calling my midwife, you know, asking these questions because I wasn't sure. My mom didn't remember. I remember asking my mom, I was like, pues no me acuerdo, you know, like I don't remember how I felt. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to call a midwife. So I remember calling the midwife. She's like, girl, you're totally fine. Cramping is good, you know, as long as it's not to the point where you can't handle the pain. Because she did tell me that if there was no like spotting involved or anything like that, she's like, you're good. She's like, don't worry about it. It's gonna go away. Sure enough, it did go away. It only lasted that week, on my week 10. And then week 11 came and it was weird. I always felt kind of like tired. And then it got to the point where I would get headaches. And then if I would make a certain move where if I had to pick something up, I would get dizzy. And then I'd have to like stop for a second and be like, okay, let me just like calm down, because what if I don't want to like pass out right here. For 2 days, I had a headache. And I was trying to refuse to take Tylenol just because even though they tell you it's okay to drink Tylenol, I was like, okay, let me avoid it as much as I can. But I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I can't. Like my head is pounding. But I remember telling Eric, like, oh my God, like what if I'm sick? What if I got the virus? Like, girl, I was losing my mind. I was so scared. I was like, Googling the symptoms for COVID. It was crazy. And I remember asking my friend Karina, because my friend Karina's a nurse, and I remember telling her, because she's she's a nurse. She works obviously with the midwife. She works with babies, and I remember asking her, like, Karina, like, I'm not sure if this is normal, but I just wanted to ask you. I'm pretty sure that maybe you have an idea, or maybe you can ask the midwife. And then she explained to me, she's like, girl, just take a Tylenol, like, just obviously don't take more than 250 milligrams, I believe. And she's like, you'll be fine. She's like, you don't have COVID. You're just, you know, overreacting because you're pregnant, and it's totally fine. That girl, she calmed me down so good. Like, she needs to be the midwife. I told her, like, Karina's a nurse, but I could totally see her being a midwife one day. Anywho, she was very helpful. She helped me calm down. I remember taking the Tylenol and I knocked out. I was so happy that I listened to her. Then at 12 weeks, I feel like I'm going really fast. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't want to make it like really long and bore you guys. But then at 12 weeks, I was feeling extremely sleepy. Like, I was at work and I'd be yawning. And then my boss at some point would be like, you know, you look really tired. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I know, like, I'm trying. Like, I go to sleep early. I was going to sleep by, no lie, by 8 o'clock. I would get home, eat, shower, and that's it. I would knock out. I wouldn't even check my social media. I didn't even have the energy to, like, post for you guys, nothing. So what I would try to do at work was, I do mostly, like, sit at work. It requires me to sit, but I try to walk back and forth, because I also heard, like, it's good for you to walk. But it's like, the office is small, so it's only so much walking I can do. But whenever I felt like I was gonna knock out on my seat, I would try to get up and, like, move around. Because I'm like, the least that I want is for my boss to come to find me fucking snoring in my seat. And then I also experienced cramping again, which I did see at 12 weeks. It's even more normal to have cramping, because that means that everything is, like, growing and working how it's supposed to. I did go to hear the baby's heartbeat at 12 weeks, and that was a beautiful experience. I wouldn't change it for anything or compare it to anything. I did shed a tear, because it was a nice experience. It sucks. My husband couldn't go with me because of the whole COVID. They don't let him in. They don't even let him in, like, for the regular visits or for ultrasounds. I haven't had an ultrasound. I'm going to be going for my ultrasound actually this Tuesday when I turn 14 weeks. And we will be finding out the gender if the baby lets him or herself be seen. And if not, they said that we can go back and they'll try to do it again. But hopefully we can find out that day the gender of the baby, and hopefully everything's good. I'm really excited to get, you know, the little picture of the ultrasound. Just because, you know, I want to see, like, obviously when I heard the heartbeat, I was like, okay, there's actually a baby in there. Like, it seems more real. But with the ultrasound, I feel like I'll be more at peace. And I guess because right now I still don't feel any movements. You still, like, have those little doubts. You still get paranoid. Like, I hope everything's still good. Like, even if you see that there's no spotting, you still get paranoid, you know? Like, you're constantly thinking, like, I hope everything's still good. So we'll be going on Tuesday, and the only reason why he's allowed to go with me is because this is not at the clinic. We're going to be going to First Peak, which is a 3D ultrasound, and I'm allowed to take one person, and that's it. But obviously I want to take him. Maybe later on I'll invite my mom to go with me, just so that, you know, I can experience that with her. But for the first ultrasound, I really wanted to take him, and he obviously really wants to go with me. He wanted to go with me to hear the heartbeat. He couldn't, so I did record it for him. And another thing that I've been experiencing, I'm not itchy from my belly at all yet, but I'm very itchy from my boobs. TMI. I try not to scratch just because I don't want to leave, like, marks or, like, stretch marks. So I've been using this one lotion, and I felt like it's been helping it soothe the itchiness. Obviously, I already have big boobs, so I don't notice, like, a lot of a difference. I feel like I did go up a cup size, and I feel like that's why I have so much itchiness. But like I said, you can't really tell because I've always had big boobs because of my mom. So it's not something that's, like, drastic. Another thing is, so yeah, now at 13 weeks, I have to go pee constantly. right now I'm like, okay. I get really thirsty, so I have water right here. The taste, the sweetness that I had in my mouth, I feel like I had it throughout the whole first trimester. Well, I'm still in my first trimester. I'll be in my second starting on Tuesday, my second trimester. And I'm feeling so happy. Hopefully Tuesday everything's good with the baby. But yeah, through the whole pregnancy, I had that sweet taste, which I was told it was normal because of the hormonal changes and all that. As of lately, I've been craving pickles. I know a lot of you guys were asking me, what's my most recent craving? And it's pickles. Like, and it's a specific brand of pickles. They're like thinly sliced because they're supposed to be like for hamburgers. They're so good. Like, I'll randomly just crave something and I'll have a pickle. I don't crave anything else. And if I crave anything else throughout this whole pregnancy, it's been anything with chile and lime. Whether it's fruit or chips. I remember in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to skip out on food and just eat fruit. And Eric would tell me, like, no, you need to eat. Like, even if it's a small portion, you need to eat. So I know a lot of you guys have been telling me, like, you don't look pregnant from your face or anything. Or when you see me in person, you can't tell that I'm pregnant. But I really think it's because I hadn't gotten to the point where I'm starving or like craving crazy things. I don't crave anything sweet like bread, cookies, none of that. I just don't crave it. And like, I'll have one maybe to try it. And then there's times where I'm like, I don't even want to look at it. Like, I'm not craving anything sweet because I already have that sweet taste in my mouth. Y me empalaga. So it's usually like chiles jalapenos with limon, and I'll put salt with whatever food that I'm eating. If I have chicken nuggets, obviously like I'll get buffalo sauce. I've been trying to like not eat so much chile, but like for instance, I know other people that are pregnant, a lot of other people that are pregnant, and like there's been some people that like will message me and ask me like, hey, like how's it going? What are you craving? And then I remember this one specific person was like, oh no, like I heard chile is really bad. Like I'm like, girl, it's not like I'm eating chile morning, night, Monday through Sunday. Like no, like I'm just telling you what I crave. Like calm down. You're not my midwife. I know what I've told my midwife. My midwife told me what's okay and what's not. Like calm down. I don't like being that person to tell another person that's pregnant, like, hey, well, my midwife said this, or you're doing this wrong. No, because to each their own. Like, I'm barely learning. This is my first pregnancy. I'm trying to enjoy it. Honestly, I've been so stress-free. And I'm really thankful for my hubby because he's really supportive to the point where like when I have felt tired, he's helped me around the house. It's not like we have a mess because it's only him and I and my dog. But like, you know, if I have to mop or whatever it is, he's been so attentive. He's been attentive to like text me, hey, like how are you feeling? If you need anything, are you craving anything, I could stop here to go get it for you. But I don't have crazy cravings like that. So like, don't try to stress me with your negativity of like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing. No, girl, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I'm fine. The baby's fine. If I have something with Valentina, or if I have Cheetos once in a while, nothing's gonna happen. Like, don't be all crazy. Another thing is that some people noticed I had dyed my hair. Another thing, that's something that I checked with the midwife. I also checked with the person who dyed my hair to make sure that it was okay, and it's completely fine. It's really more in what you believe in and like the superstitions and all that, you know, to each their own. I have been doing like certain things just to check what's it called, what I might be having, like the gender. And I know some people, for instance, don't believe in those things, right? I just do it for fun. Doesn't mean that it's gonna come all right. But there's people that are like, well, I don't know why you do that if it's not true. Okay, but let me enjoy it. If I have fun, you know, trying to figure out what I'm having with my husband or my mom, leave me alone. Just if you're gonna approach me and ask me how my pregnancy is going, then ask me, but don't be negative, because I don't bring the negativity to you. Like I said, I have had no negativity while I've been pregnant. I'm super excited to be in the second trimester, and I hope it continues to be stress-free. Like I said, I pray all the time that I don't get COVID and that my family doesn't get sick, my husband, you know. I'm hoping that this, like they say, this too shall pass, that from here to the time that I have the baby in the summer, that, you know, that this has calmed down a little bit. But yeah, so like I said, right now for the 13 weeks, like what I did notice like yesterday and the day before is that I'll randomly get hungry really late at night, and I can stay up later. Before, I feel like I couldn't stay up past 8 or 9. Now I'll go to sleep like at 11 or 12, and there'll be times where I'll crave something and I don't want to like eat anything crazy, so I'll just grab a snack of whatever it is that I find. Like either I'll grab a pickle, I'll grab an apple, whatever it is, or popcorn. I'll get popcorn. And then sometimes I get hungry really early. Like yesterday I woke up and I was starving for some reason. And I got up super early. I felt rejuvenated. Like I was so comfortable. I got up, showered, got ready, and then I had tamales, leftover tamales. Like I said, I've been really happy, and I hope it continues to be that way. And I know a lot of you guys wanted to see how my belly looks right now. You can't really tell. Like I said, I feel like I'm in that awkward stage where it depends on what I wear, or like, I know there's people that are probably like, is she just fat? Is she just gaining weight? Or is she pregnant? So I'm in that awkward stage still. However, my belly does feel hard now. Like if I touch it, I feel it getting hard from like the top. So we'll see how everything goes. We'll see if the belly continues to grow, but so far I'm happy. I have not gained crazy weight. The last time that I went, which was at the 12-week, I only gained 7 to 8 pounds. No, I think it was 7 pounds. And I remember the girl was like, you know, you're doing really good. Like you haven't gained much weight, and hopefully it stays like that where you steadily gain weight. Not that I'm watching for my weight, guys, but I'm just saying I want to be comfortable, you know, and I want to still be able to look cute. And so let me show you guys my belly. See, you guys can't really tell. So it's like you can kind of tell, but then at the same time you can't. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm hoping for the next video to be doing the, I don't know what it's called, the midwife's tales, I think it is. So we can guess what we're having before Saturday comes, because I think Saturday is when I'm gonna get together with my family next Saturday, so that we can find out the gender of the baby. So I'm gonna try to have that video up before next Saturday. But that's all for today, guys. If you guys have any questions for me, make sure to leave them down below. And like I said, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might want to, because that's where I post most of my pictures and my progress of each week. And that's all for today, guys. Stay safe, drink lots of water, and make sure you take your vitamins. If you're not pregnant, make sure you take vitamins, okay? And that's it. Bye, guys.